So let's move on to the next fight. This one's John Phillips versus Khamzat Chimaev. This is at 185 pounds. John Phillips is called the White Mike Tyson. He's 22-9. He's 1-3 in the UFC. He's 35 years old, and he's 5 feet 11 inches tall. So he's fighting Khamzat Chimaev, who's 26 years old. He's 6-0. He's 6 feet 2 inches tall, and I believe he's making his UFC debut. Tell me what you feel about these guys.
Well, like you said, John is 1-3 in the UFC with his lone victory coming in his last fight.
Yep.
A knockout win versus Alan Amedovski. So we've got that one there. One thing I noticed about John is he likes to kind of bait his opponents into a brawl.
Yeah.
He's got a really tough chin, man. He's got a bomb shelter for a chin.
He's actually kind of got some technical striking too.
Yeah, his striking's not bad, but he wants to stand and bang.
And bang.
That's what he does.
Yeah, he's another guy who's not looking to go to the ground at all.
No, he's got a lot of power in his punches, and he's got a chin, so he just stands there and trades.
Yeah.
That's what he likes to do. One thing that, a fighter that could beat him, elusive fighters, guys that know how to use their range, know how to stay on the outside and pick opponents apart. Yeah. Those are the guys that can beat him. If you don't get into a brawl with him, you can win. If you get into a brawl with John Phillips, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah, so, what he's talking about is the fact that John Phillips has 20 knockouts on his record.
Yeah.
20 knockouts.
He's got power.
He puts people to sleep. He knocks people dead. So if he hits you, you're going out. Yep. He's got good technical hands. He's a former Bama champion. The problem is, though, that he does take a lot of punches.
Yeah, and he can be put on his back.
Like Cullen said before, he likes to just stand and bang. He will take some punches. He's gonna take some to give some, and he's just got to land one. It's got to be one.
Yeah, just got to land one.
That's all it's got to be. Most of his losses do come by submission, though. So if he goes to the ground, like we said, he doesn't care about fighting on the ground. Yeah. He doesn't want to go to the ground. He wants to stay on the feet.
Yeah.
Khamzat Chimaev, on the other hand, what do you think about him?
So Khamzat is I watched. It's hard to find some of his fights. He only has 6 fights.
Six fights. Yep.
So I was trying to watch one of them, and I watched his fight versus Sidney Wheeler, and interesting enough, Sidney Wheeler was a wrestling state champion in Ohio, I believe it was. And Khamzat was able to take him down. So Khamzat was able to put Wheeler on his back.
Yes.
Which was interesting because that shows me that Khamzat's got some pretty high-level wrestling at that point. Ohio, you win a state championship in Ohio, you probably have pretty good wrestling.
Well, they
let's
got
be honest.
Ohio State and they got Ohio University out there. There's a couple different colleges out there that are...
It's the mecca for wrestling. Ohio, Nebraska, the whole Midwest right there is
you get all of them.
Solid place for wrestling.
Iowa.
Iowa. But one thing, he has pretty good power himself.
Yeah.
He's not, a weak puncher at all.
No, he's got 2 wins by knockout of 6.
Yeah, he does have 2 wins by knockout. So, but the one thing I think, is if he gets baited into a brawl with Phillips, he's going to sleep.
Yes.
And I think that in this fight, I don't know that he has the experience enough to learn, to keep his distance, try to poke him from outside and move, circle the cage, and just get in and out on his striking. I think he might end up actually brawling with Phillips.
I think that he's not going to brawl. He does a good job mixing his feet in there a little bit too with the striking. Whenever the punches are threatening him, he changes levels and he shoots.
Yeah.
I was able to find a couple of videos. I wasn't able to find a lot of whole matches, but the other thing I was able to find, though, was highlight videos. So I looked at a couple of highlight videos, too. He takes people down. He's got really good takedowns. He mixes it in with the striking. So what he'll do is he'll start to watch what you're doing with your hands, and as soon as you get ready to throw that big punch, he'll change levels and take you down.
Yeah.
And that's perfect for wrestling. But for that reason, I have a feeling that Cosmo's going to take him down in the first round and submit him.
See, I don't know that that's going to happen. See, this is another card we're kind of opposite on. I like it. So my thing is, I think
I said Cosmat, didn't I?
Yeah, you keep saying Cosmat.
Khamzat.
And so
Khamzat's going to take him down and submit him in the first round.
But yeah, man, I like John Phillips in this one. I think his experience is going to be too much. I think he's going to be strong enough to keep it standing versus Khamzat.
Well, and John Phillips isn't a can crusher.
No.
So he's while he hasn't fought the elite, he hasn't really been fighting a bunch of brand new guys.
It's not like he's fighting guys with 0-0 records.
Yeah, he's fighting guys with winning records too.
He's not padding it.
So no, he's definitely not padding it. He's trying to find challenges for himself. He's definitely a guy that deserves to be in the UFC based on what I've seen so far. He's just got to figure out a little bit more of a better way to win in the instance that he's not going to get that quick knockout.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we look at this. He did lose to he lost a split decision to Jack Marshman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he lost a submission to Kevin Holland.
Yep.
And a submission to Charles Byrd.
Which is why I think it's going submission.
All three of those losses were in the UFC, and then he did knock out Alan Amedovski, as we mentioned earlier.
And then look down here, Jesse Taylor, Jesse the General.
Jesse Taylor was able to submit him. But like I said, I just haven't seen enough of Khamzat other than his, you know, taking...
That's not Jesse the General, that's JT the General.
Yeah, JT Taylor. But, I mean, he also knocked out Charlie Ward.
Yeah.
That's a good knockout.
That is a very good knockout.
So, I mean, he's got the power. He lost to Frank Trigg via knockout. Another good fight right there. Frank Trigg was no joke.
Twinkle toes, baby.
I mean, let's be honest.
Twinkle toes.
So the guy's been fighting. I think his experience, like I said, I just think his experience is going to be too much. Yeah. I think the opening round is going to be a lot of feeling out. You know, Khamzat is going to have UFC jitters. He's only 6-0, 6 professional fights. He's making his UFC debut. I think he's just going to have those jitters, man.
It's very possible.
So I think the first round is going to be a little bit of picking each other apart, and I think by the second round,
see. But here's the other thing,
it's going to sleep.
On the other side of that, though, while he might have those jitters, John Phillips, he needs to figure out how to be successful in the UFC.
Yeah, well, he does have that win he's coming off of.
He's got to be able to string multiple wins together, though. If he goes 4-1 in the UFC, or sorry, 1-4 in the UFC,
yeah, it looks bad.
Are they really going to keep bringing him in?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends.
It's hard. You can't really promote that name.
It's one of those things, though, because you look at, like, the matchups. Okay,
yeah.
So he's a striker. They put him up against a lot of wrestlers, though, and submission guys. You know, and then you look at somebody like Sean O'Malley, who's getting pushed out a lot, but he hasn't fought a grappler yet.
Wrestlers. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of a bias there where they're forcing him to fight guy after guy after guy that's hard to fight.
Yep.